Alright, welcome back everyone. We are here for Sangatsu no Lion episode 5 of season 1. So, last episode was pretty fun and wholesome and sweet. We kind of dive deeper into some of the side characters, especially Hina and Akari, and also Nikaido a bit. The previous episode started with Hina's whole ordeal of trying to make a lunchbox, something special, right, for a boy named Takahashi who she is in love with. Obviously, that plan kind of falls apart by the end, but fortunately for him, Rei Kiriyama comes in and saves the day. And speaking of Rei Kiriyama, the last episode kind of provided something interesting, which is a glimpse of the past. So, when Rei Kiriyama was looking at the baseball match where Takahashi was being a pro player and whatever, he sees that Hina is ogling at Takahashi with loving eyes, the sight of somebody who is in love. And for Rei Takahashi, love is something that is, I'd say, an enigma for him. It's something that he definitely has a strong opinion of, but we just don't know what it is. The only thing that we do know is that the story gives us a bit of context, a bit of flashback, if you will, of when Rei was kind of forcefully being overpowered by a female character who I am assuming is to be Kyoko. Obviously, that is not a good memory, right? It is definitely a painful memory, but I mentioned this in the episode discussion, and that is, Rei Kiriyama is a person who sees the world in black and white, who sees the world in a very bleak way, because he is somebody who, I'd say, is not just, being depressed, but also has a lot of past trauma, right? And the thing about it is that I mentioned that Rei Kiriyama isn't necessarily an unreliable narrator, especially when it comes to the past. Again, this is somebody who sees the world in black and white. So whatever happens in the past is just from his perspective. It's not from everybody else's perspective. It's only from his, and his worldview is very bleak. So, even though I do recognize that I do recognize that memory of him being, in the bottom and the female being at the top and whatever, seems like a painful memory, but I want to know more. There's definitely something else behind that whole story. I need more context. I can't just jump the gun. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just want to know more from her perspective. What made that memory happen? Like, why is that the case, right? And I'm really interested. I'm really keen, and I'm really excited to see that. So that's pretty much where we left off on the previous episode. Also, Akari being Akari. We learn a side of Akari that I never knew, but there we go. There it is. That's pretty much it for my intro and short discussion before the episode begins. You are watching the timer-based reaction on YouTube, so you have to have your own copy and sync it up with the timer, or alternatively, you can just head on over to the description where there's a link for the full unedited version where you can just go and watch it for free. Go ahead, do it if you want. If you do want to listen to me discussing the episode, go back to YouTube, obviously. And finally, if you do want to watch the next episode, early access is available over at the Patreon. Links also in the description. So, if you do enjoy my reaction, hit a like, subscribe, share the video. If you do want to discuss some things in the comment section, go ahead. I would love to read them. And with that being said, let us continue with our Sangatsu journey with episode 5. Ah, when is this? The past? The past. Okay then. Your dad's best friend? Interesting. The camera angles, the lighting, sharp pointy edges. Okay then. There's the dad. Okay. Ah, reminds him of... Okay. Ah, okay, there's the relevance. Zero friends. So how did your relationship kind of sour? How did it all fall apart? He's reading a book um that he wrote. The the father's friend wrote. I don't think we've ever got his name before. Anything for Momo. To the bridge again. Back to the city of March. Beautiful shot. How is Momo gonna react? Domo. Wow, very lively in the animation. Oh my god. Why is Momo such a moe blob? Making my heart melt. Oh my god. Oh, nice. The animation and the lighting there. With the hand. Connection. No! 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 Yeah, that would, like, give you, like, bruises. Bad dog. No, it's okay, Momo. Noticing how Ray is slowly helping the sisters and not the other way around. Ooh. Yeah, you gotta clean those up. Oh. I've mentioned this multiple times, but the atmosphere of the show is a perfect mixture of the lighting and the music. Black and white again. Ah, is that the mother? No, the sister. The mask falls. There it is. It's also a sign that Ray is opening up. Oh wow, beautiful shot. The composition is, yeah. Said I do know about it. Wow. And your world started to become black and white and bleak. So even his family is. Wow. Troubled family. The fuck you, bitch. Hmm. Who approaches you. So how did it all family squabbles, but no care and attention to Rei Kiriyama except for him? The one connection he has with his father. By an ugly lie. He never liked Chogi. Wow. Wow. The current drop. And it's crazy because he would eventually become a pro shogi player. Showing the currents again. Wow. Nice. Nice symbolism there. And now it's in color. Kyoko. Yeah. 4 years older. Jealousy. How can somebody who is not of blood be better than me in this family, in this household? Whoa. Wow. The father shows more affection to him than to his actual family, his actual children. Wow. Affection. Hmm. But you... Wow. And now the pressure falls onto you. Wow. Oh wow, beautiful. It's lonely in the top, right? Kyoko's over there. Oh, he has to fight Kyoko. And we know how this will end. Wow, running out of time. Yeah, you lost. Wow. Wow. No happiness whatsoever. Wow. Does Rei Kiriyama blame himself? He became higher and higher. All because of a lie. And replaces it with himself, right? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. All of this adds more and more pressure to him. He blames himself. Another lie. Yeah. Okay then. It all makes sense now. A single leaf. Ah, I was saying that the glasses have significance, but the sweater has more significance. Interesting. Wow, beautiful episode. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. What an episode. It definitely gives a lot of context on who Rei Kiriyama is. And it also changes our own perception of who Rei Kiriyama is. All of the missing puzzle pieces starts to form and create an image that is clear. It's not completed yet. There's still a lot of missing pieces, yeah. But you're starting to see the bigger picture. Wow. I mean, I'm repeating words at this point, but episode's incredible as always. The direction is phenomenal. The music is great. The animation is beautiful, and the story, the writing, the dialogue, beautiful as always. Where do I start with this episode? It gives so many context to some of the questions that I had before, while also proving some things are wrong. I don't know. It's such a good episode, but I don't know if I can actually discuss this, as thoroughly as I can, as I just finished watching it for a first time, watching and discussing, because I don't know, I feel like I need to watch this like 2 or 3 more times, but I'm gonna try my best. But yeah, overall, fantastic episode, beautifully done. And I can definitely see some people actually, like shedding some tears in this episode, because there's a lot of very emotional moments as well. Not that I did not get emotional, I did. I was just more engrossed with the story that, I don't know, I guess I was just kind of taken aback by this sudden revelation this early on in the show. where do I start? like I wrote a lot of shit in my notebook. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I guess let's start from the beginning, shall we? So we begin with a scene from the past. Rei Kiriyama fighting his adoptive father in a match of shogi. I don't know what machine this is, but I should know. But the light gets turned on, the fire is lit, and the water starts boiling. The start of Rei Kiriyama's journey. And he defeats him. I lost. He was my dad's best friend. Rei Kiriyama showing promise, showing talent, that he can actually play shogi. And I was mentioning like the lighting in the specific shot. Like lighting can create a certain mood, right? The lighting that I have currently right now is only a 1-point light, but I'm trying to achieve like a Rembrandt like effect on my left side of my face, so there's like a triangle here, and lighting has like many different like purpose, like for a scene. Like you would often see like in horror stories, you know, the light comes from below, and here I don't know, the stark contrast between the light and the dark and the shadow kind of almost makes it seem like there's something ominous behind him, right? Like it's trying to paint him in a very bad light. Not light as in the lighting. No, in a very bad like personality, right? You come to checkmate me, and the angle is also, the angle is like from below. It's a low angle, showing him from the top. He is showing dominance, he is showing power in the shot. And then again, in this specific shot, the composition clearly makes it, there's a stark contrast, there's a difference between Rei's side and then his adoptive father's side. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we have never actually seen his, we never really got his name, have we? Not that I remember, right? Because I wrote a lot of stuff and I don't think I wrote his name. But in this shot, Rei Kiriyama on the left, trees, rounded, right? Rounded edges here. Innocent, kind, compassion, safetiness. And then on the right, we have the adoptive father. And look at this. Triangles, sharp objects, danger, a threat, right? And I find this fascinating because this is the show purposefully trying to paint him on a different perspective. This is the show fooling us, the audience, and I think it is brilliant from the show's own direction in doing so. Because as the show, as the story progresses in this episode, you just kind of slowly realize, wait a minute, maybe he's not the danger that we thought he is. Maybe he's not this bad father figure that we thought he is. Maybe all of that is just from Rei Kiriyama's perspective, right? And we'll get to that later, because, oh boy. But again, the show in the shot right now, it's painting a different light, fooling us, the audience, into thinking who is who and what is what. And Rei Kiriyama mentions this. Even though he was my dad's friend, every time he came over, I would get happy and restless. He finds comfort in him. There's happiness in this place. He's able to be who he is, even though it is technically a lie because he doesn't really like Shogi. Koda! That's his name. Alright. Thank you. An emergency came up. That must have been a pain. Talking about the hospital stuff because they mentioned this later on in the episode. I was playing with Ray, so how did it go? So, we get confirmation that both his real father and Koda used to be in the Federation, the whatever organization that Shogi players are in, I suppose. So these two are best friends. And then Koda mentions, like, hey, Rei Kiriyama, your son has, he made this move and this. I'm really impressed. Shows a lot of talent, shows a lot of potential. Reminds me of you. And it's interesting because Rei Kiriyama himself says that shogi isn't his favorite thing. But it is a precious time that he could spend with his father. That is important. Because why are you still playing shogi was my question throughout like the first couple of episodes. He realizes that this is all mundanity, this is all stagnation, this is all just a repeating cycle that he cannot escape to. So why are you still playing shogi? And now we kind of get a better idea of why that is the case. Because it's the only thing left for Rei to remember his father of. Those precious times, those meaningful times. He never really wanted to play shogi to be good at it. No, he wants to play shogi because he wants to spend time with his family, with his father. And so he tried his best, says Rei Kiriyama. And here we learn more. He gets bullied in school. And I find that to be what's the word I'm looking for? Predictable is not the word that I'm looking for, but I'm drawing a blank, so I'll just say predictable. It makes sense, right? Of course he gets bullied. Not that I want him to get bullied, no, but his actions, his interactions as well, right? His personality in the present indicates that he definitely has a traumatic past, whether if it's from his family or actually in school where he gets bullied. Rei Kiriyama does kind of I don't know, radiate the type of person that would get bullied in school. I know that's a very bad thing for me to say, but it's almost stereotypical. Nerd, glasses, you know the deal. It was like they were speaking a foreign language. They are not of his world. He feels isolated. He feels different because he himself is different. He's not seeing everybody else. He doesn't see those people being in the wrong. That's how I'm interpreting this. He sees himself being in the wrong. He feels like he is the odd one out. Because why is everybody speaking a foreign language, quote unquote? Why is everybody able to get along? Why is everybody over there, being friendly to one another and not to me? Why am I the only one who is getting this? That means there's something probably wrong with me and not them, right? It's a very twisted worldview, but I have a feeling that's how Rei Kiriyama sees it at the time. And yet, when he plays shogi, there's comfort, there's safetiness, right? Even though he's an adult, he really talked to me. Somebody who is a friend, right? You have zero friends, zero, as Kyoko says. But he found one in Koda. He was the only person outside my family who did that. So, we kind of skip forward into the present for a bit. And here I mention, is he reading a book that is written by Koda? I think he is. Judging from the hairline. I don't know. I think it is. I think this is a book written by Koda about modern shogi, and it would make sense why Rei Kiriyama is reading this book later on. So, Rei Kiriyama gets a call from Akari saying, "Hey, can you pick Momo up? Everybody else is kind of busy. Can you please help me out?" And he does. He goes to the city of March once again. Color is calling back to him. And Momo, being a cute moe blob that she is. And this entire sequence is very wholesome, it's very cute, it's fun. Momo just... Why is she so cute? But here we emphasize Rei holding Momo. And that will become a powerful scene later on. It's a very gentle handhold, right? And especially you can see like the difference in the size of their arms, their hands. But it's an act of love. Rei Kiriyama knows this all too well. And we will later contrast this with when he is holding her sister's arm, who has sadly passed away. And here, even in the small little animation sequence, there's life in there. Rei Kiriyama showing compassion, showing care to this family. And then the stupid dog came in and ruins everything. I hate this dog. I hate it. I hate it with my life. Why would you do this? Why? Bad dog. Bad. Momo fell. She got hurt, obviously. At least Momo only got scratches, because when I fell, my teeth fell off. I shit you not. When I was a kid, I tripped, I fell, and my my teeth just got a painful experience. Rei Kiriyama showing affection. He cares, showing genuine care. The same way as Akari did to him. Momo were home, and back here, he cares more. Helps her out, treats her. Beautifully done. The music and the scene was incredible. The lighting, the mood. Beautiful. Beautiful. She cries. We cut back to a young Rei Kiriyama, black and white. I wonder what it could be. The hand of the deceased, ice cold. Ice cold. We see the bruises. His sister has passed away. I don't know how young she was when she passed away, but this brought him to tears. Powerful scene. The mask has fallen. He could not hide it anymore. In the presence of Hina and Akari, he was able to hide it, but in the presence of Momo, somebody who is innocent, somebody who reminds him of his sister, probably because of, the age difference. Obviously, looking at Hina and Akari, they're of like similar age, maybe like a year or two younger for Hina, and then like a year or two older for Akari, but around the same age, right? But when it comes to Momo is probably of the similar age of when her sister passed away. His sister passed away. Powerful scene. Powerful. He goes, says farewell, thank you. And Momo mentions it. He was crying. I wonder why. Akari says, probably because he remembered something sad. And it is something sad. Rei had a little sister too. And here we are in the meat of the story. This is when the juicy stuff happens. This is where most of my notes came from. The backstory that I wanted to see is not entirely the whole picture, because there's still stuff, there's still context that needs to be had, but this is giving us much needed context for later in the future. Because again, like we still don't, we never really see like what happened, like during that flashback in the previous episode and whatever, but we are kind of slowly getting more and more of this context. So the backstory starts with Rei seeing the deceased, his family, taken away in an instant. Cold, stiff, and spotted masses of flesh. The rain pours in, going down the drain. The world slowly becoming bleak, black and white, desaturated. His life spiraling out of control. And here is the first instance of, I'd say, neglect. And that's coming from his own actual family, the ones that are blood relatives. They don't care. None of them are sitting right by his side. He is sitting alone, empty chairs left and right, black and white in the back. Everybody else just keeps squabbling about the deceased. We slowly pan out, showing more and more reclusive he is, slowly showing how lonely he is. And all they care about, the business, the hospital. No regard whatsoever to the boy sitting alone. Wow. And they don't want to take him in either. Too much of a hassle. Dead weight. I don't want him. Just find an orphanage. Some blood relative you are. But here, a glimmer of hope. Koda comes in. Rei Kiriyama is in a very dark place right now. A very dark place. And one of the things that I did wrote on my notes is the idea of Rei Kiriyama not hating. It's not that Rei Kiriyama fell off from his adoptive family. It's not that Rei Kiriyama hates that family. No. He loves that family. Well, apart from maybe the sister. But what I did wrote is the idea of Rei Kiriyama not hating the family, but hating himself. Self-loathing, self-hatred. Especially for what he did, or the implication of what he did to Ayamu and Kyoko later on. But it's also self-hatred right now. Why am I the only one alive? Why is my family dead? Why am I here? It's a common state of mind for when I'm not really well versed into this, so I'm not really I don't want to dive deeper into it, but it's survivor's guilt, right? Is the feeling of guilt when you're the only one alive and everybody else is dead. Like, if you're with a lot of people, friends, family, a disaster happens, and then everybody dies, except for you. Many people will have feelings of guilt even though they shouldn't have. Like, it's not their fault. Like, this accident is not Rei Kiriyama's fault at all, right? It's the fault of a drunken truck driver. But it's that feeling of, why are they dead and I'm still alive? Why am I still here? Why am I special? What good am I to the world? I'm a nobody. I don't have friends. I don't like to go to school. 0 friends. Nobody likes me. I don't have family now. And my current family, my blood relatives, they don't like me at all. So why am I here? Why am I alive? How come they have to die and I have to live? What good am I to this world? And in this moment of darkness, he arrives. Koda comes in from the light. We only see his silhouette. He was the only one to approach him, to comfort him. His presence made him feel so nostalgic that he wanted to cry. Once again, the feeling of safety, right? Safetiness. The show purposefully misrepresent him in the beginning of this episode, when I was talking about like the round edges and the sharp edges that is on him. That is just a distraction. Those sharp edges are not meant to be something that is dangerous. No, those sharp edges, correct me if I'm wrong, They're sunlight. They're rays of light. They are hope. They were never meant to be of danger to you. No. They're actually meant to care for you. Koda comes in. He saves Rei Kiriyama. Something that will happen once again when Rei Kiriyama leaves, and then Akari comes in and saves him. And this is the first instance when somebody else comes into his world and saves his life. Everybody else still talking and talking and talking about the hospital, about the Kiriyama hospital. Who gives a shit? Koda looks in disgust. He looks at Rei. Then he says, "Do you like shogi?" An invitation, right? A slow invitation. He's not adopting him. And that's when the difference in perspective comes into play. Like don't get me wrong, Koda definitely cares for him. He definitely loves this kid. And is evident in the first episode when he was trying to converse with him. But it's the fact that he never truly adopted him, as Kyoko mentions, right? You never really adopted him. I guess officially adopted him. You just took him in. This is just a student for you, right? Or is it more than that? He asked, "Do you like shogi?" The god of shogi and I were bound to each other by an ugly lie, a lie that Rei Kiriyama conjures. I do like shogi. That was a lie. And what did I wrote here? I wrote that Rei Kiriyama saying that he loves shogi is a simple lie. It all started because of a simple lie. And Rei Kiriyama's self-loathing, self-hatred, as I mentioned before, is also hatred towards what he is capable of, and that is playing shogi. And I find that to be an interesting topic to explore, right? You are talented. You can do amazing stuff, but you hate doing that stuff. You hate the talent that you have. That's fucked up. That is genuinely fucked up. But it's also one of the many reasons why Rei Kiriyama becomes who he is right now. Hatred towards something that he is talented of. It kind of puts into a totally different context in whenever he plays shogi, right? Because he's not playing because it every time they show Rei Kiriyama playing shogi, every time we see Rei Kiriyama's expression of nothing, of seriousness, nothing playful whatsoever, right? That's because he's not enjoying it. He never liked shogi to begin with. That's crazy to me. And I guess the best outcome that the story can produce for Rei is for Rei to actually like shogi. I think that's a beautiful way of storytelling, of having a person who is already talented in something, but then that person is never really in love with this talent, and then the show and the story would then follow him and have him progress to slowly enjoy the thing that he loves doing. I think that's brilliant. That's beautiful writing, in my opinion. But the reason why he says that, the reason why he says that yeah, I like shogi, even though he doesn't. It's because shogi is the only thing, it's the only piece of memory that he has of his late father. So it's this it's this messy conflict within him of like, yeah, I don't like this, but my father liked this, and I love my father, and I don't want to lose my memory of my father, therefore I want to like this as well, even though I don't. Does that make sense? And I feel like a lot of people will. I feel like some people can relate to Rei Kiriyama in this regard. Because I feel like a lot of people have talent, and they know that they are talented in that aspect, but they just do not like doing it as much as other things. Wow. So we move on from here. Rei Kiriyama cries. The curtain drops, and he becomes the child of a shogi family. Lies. Because of a lie. Showing the curtain has finally dropped, and then showing the curtain opening here. Good transition. Here is when things starts to go from great to masterful, in my opinion. This is a masterful way of storytelling. The green sweater. The green sweater being torn, broken, and being fixed throughout the rest of this episode, throughout the rest of this chapter, right as Rei Kiriyama remembers his past. It is a beautiful way to progress the story of this episode. And Rei Kiriyama himself mentions this, pulling it will only make it worse. If you have something that is broken, if you keep it broken, obviously it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. That's why I was saying before, he needs to amend his past. He needs to face it, right? At least that's what I thought was going through Rei Kiriyama's mind, and then the story actually shows what truly happened in the past. Rei Kiriyama being, I guess, a parasite is a good way to say it. Okay, let's talk a bit about Kyoko, shall we? So, now we are seeing these memories, and the memories are in color. They're not in black and white, so these are true memories. These are memories of somebody who knows what they are, knows what it is. No differentiating between like black and white and whatever, no. The full color, the full context. This is it. Also love how Rei Kiriyama is in blue and Kyoko is in red. I am in green, interesting. Kyoko, I'd say, is Kyoko's hatred is understandable to me, because it is a form of jealousy, but I do understand where she is coming from. First of all, you need to realize and understand that these are all children. They're kids. Even though Kyoko is like, what, 4 years older than Kiriyama, which is interesting. But imagine being in Kyoko's shoes for a bit, yeah? And I'm not trying to justify her, but imagine being in Kyoko's shoes. You have lived your entire life devoted to shogi, right? Or to a specific talent or a specific thing, right? And you want it to be the best. You want to make your family proud. You want to make your father and mother proud as well, right? But then somebody came into your world. Somebody who is adopted, somebody who is not even related by blood, somebody who is a complete total stranger comes in and steals the show. Suddenly, your parents, especially here, the father, showing more affection to him than to you, than to Kyoko. I would be pissed. Of course I would be jealous. Why is my father, right, the one who is raising me, the one who is teaching me how to play shogi my entire life, suddenly, seemingly neglecting me and showing more affection to this kid, this random stranger that he picked up? I don't know who he is. And the fact that he is better than Kyoko just makes it all the more worse for her. Because now she feels belittled, right? And it's weird because I talked about how Rei Kiriyama feels that he is being belittled. No, it's the other way around. Kyoko and Ayumu feels like they are being belittled unintentionally by Kiriyama. And Koda, while yes, he is being strict, yes, he realizes that this is wrong from like Kyoko's actions is wrong, but I don't know, I feel like Koda as a father also kind of fails in terms of like keeping the family intact and especially keeping an eye out on his daughter. Like Kyoko's action is also a direct response to Koda's own action towards Rei Kiriyama, so it all ties back. And he was strict with Kyoko. Again. Why? Why am I? I'm speaking as like Kyoko. Why am I getting the boot? Why am I in the wrong? I'm supposed to be in the right, right? I'm the daughter. I'm the real shogi player. I am the future of this family. Why am I suddenly being neglected? Kyoko's also definitely also has her own issues. This whole show is people having issues. Surprise, surprise. But again, it is her personality. But it makes sense why she feels this way. And we never really see what happened in that specific past memory in the previous episode. So curious to see what that is about. Because that's definitely when they are older. That's probably around the same time when Rei Kiriyama leaves. Because this is going on for like a long time, right? And then Rei Kiriyama utters the word, Tosan, Dad. That pisses Kyoko off. What did you just say? What did you just say? Dad? What do you mean, Dad? Why? Why is it okay? This is not okay. You didn't even adopt him. And after this short discussion, Koda immediately just ignores her, right? Kyoko asks, "Why, Dad?" Koda gives an answer and then immediately shifts back to Rei. "Hey, so yeah, that shogi match that you had before, remember this and that?" Complete, total neglect. Again, it's not just Kyoko's fault, it's also Koda's fault. Well, yeah. I mean, Koda definitely has good intentions. But I also have to mention that Koda is also, as a parent, kind of failing in terms of keeping an eye on both his actual children and Rei Kiriyama. And look at this. More and more anger. This whole situation, this whole thing is building up on her. She is also being pressured, right? How can I lose to somebody who is not even my real brother? How can I lose to somebody who my father loves more than me? Pressure builds up. She starts to get more and more jealous. She starts to get more and more angry. And Ayamu in the back just being depressed. The two of them fight in a shogi match. And Ayamu, it seems, finally has had enough. He broke down. Ayamu has reached that point in depression where you just don't want to do it anymore. Ayamu has left the train. He doesn't want to continue this anymore. That's sad. And Rei Kiriyama blames himself. Self-hatred once again. Rei Kiriyama hears this. He realizes what he is doing. He realizes that he himself is a problem in this household. Not because he is a bad person. It's the polar opposite, because he is a good person. Because he's so talented. Talented in something that he doesn't even enjoy. That messes his mind. No amount of persuasion can help Ayamu go back into shogi, unfortunately. I love this visual that they are presenting right now. Also the idea of, being in the top is lonely, because nobody's at the top but you. And the shogi match continues. Rei and Kyoko right there in the back. They play, but Kyoko's running out of time. The pressure builds. She lost. How come she lost? How did I lose against somebody of the likes of Rei Kiriyama? And this is when things get out of hand. The way Koda grabs Rei. The way Rei doesn't want to be here, right? Like his action, his demeanor, the way the body posture. Rei doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to hear this. He is feeling guilty. And Koda says the thing that hurt Kyoko the most. If you can't beat Rei, then there's no point in continuing. This, to me, is when Koda fails completely as a parent. He has good intentions. He clearly loves Rei Kiriyama. But it slowly becomes blind love. He begins to show affection and love to Rei Kiriyama and ignores his true children because they are not as talented as him. And that snaps. Obviously. Her anger is justified in my opinion. She may as well be a bad character in the future. But how she became this way, completely understandable to me. So in the end, only someone else's kid made the cut. Wow. And as Rei Kiriyama is slowly fixing the sweater, he hurt himself. And we mentioned this before, right? Especially in, what episode was it? 2 or 3, right? When Rei Kiriyama is talking about the train analogy of like an unstoppable moving train, right? An endless loop of normalcy and monotonous mundanity. And if you want to change that, then you need to leave. You need to step out of the moving train. It's gonna hurt, but you're gonna get out of the train regardless. For Ayumu, he left the train, and that hurt completely. Mentally, it broke him. And here, like I mentioned, right, the green sweater being broken and being fixed together throughout the episode, juxtaposing how Rei Kiriyama is remembering the past in its true self, right, in color, fixing it, amending it. This is Rei Kiriyama's process of slowly getting off that train. It's a slow process. It hurts along the way, right? But in the end, it got fixed. And here, my God, an analogy of the cuckoo bird. Tossing away the original and laying eggs of her own, taking it over. And because of this, the original bird, the original owner of that nest, that home, is taking care of kids that doesn't belong to them. That is me. Rei Kiriyama realizes who he truly is. Incredible symbolism, in my opinion. And Rei Kiriyama finally decides what he wants to do in the future. He wants to leave. He wants to leave that family for the greater good. And I wrote this in my notes. it's I don't know, it's a beautiful dichotomy, right, between hatred and loving. He hates himself for what he has done to that family, and the only way to do so is to leave that family. But in doing so, it would not only hurt himself, but also his adoptive father. It would definitely hurt Koda, because Koda loves him, but he needs to leave because he doesn't belong there. At least that's how he thinks of it. But him finally fixing the sweater goes to show how much he actually does love Koda and considers him as a father as well. Koda gives him the sweater. Put this on. He doesn't want to ruin their lives anymore. But he is grateful for what he has done, for what Koda did to him. Thank you, Dad. And Dad here is referring to Koda, not his actual dad. But that baggage, that self-loathing is still there. If he was just a normal bird, then he would never have known this relentless pain. Beautiful, beautiful episode. That is the end of the chapter. Wow. Amazing set of episodes. Well, not set of episodes, it's just one episode, but an amazing episode nonetheless. Beautiful, beautiful, beautifully done. I guess we'll just have to wait and see for what the future holds. And especially when and if he would then face off against like somebody like Ayumu or Kyoka once again, that would be sweet. Because that would kind of adds a lot of tension and a lot of conflict. And I like conflicts. I know that may sound weird, but I like to see people and characters in fiction face their issue, face their inner conflict and outer conflict, and resolve that in any way, shape, or form, because it helps them grow as a character, and it makes for some good discussions as well. So that is it for my reaction and my discussion for Sangatsu no Lion episode 5. What a great episode. Fantastic. Again, if you do want to watch the next episode, it is available over at the Patreon. Links are in the description. And finally, I guess I'll say it once again. If you do enjoyed my reaction and my discussion, hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video if you want. And I will see you all, I guess, next time for the next episode of Sangatsu no Lion. Take care, guys.